Welcome to Geneva, and today I've got the distinct pleasure of being able to take you through the after-sales process here at Laurent Ferrier. To do it, we've got a watchmaker with over 10 years experience at the brand, Mr. Vincent Taillot. So we're in good hands. Please come join me. So before we get into the first step of the process, let's have a look at some of the logistical elements of the after-sales process. To start with, when a watch comes in, the head of the workshop allocates the watch to the watchmaker that actually manufactured the watch in the first place. Because here at Laurent Ferrier, a watchmaker assembles and delivers a watch in its entirety. The after-sales process here at Laurent Ferrier lasts between 1 and 3 days, and the control process is a minimum of 4 days. So step 1 in the after-sales process. Here Vincent is looking at the watch critically, the case, the dial, the hands, the setting, and of course the movement through the sapphire case back, just to have a general concept, a view of the watch in the after-sales process. Step 2 is failure detection. Vincent will be presented with a document outlining the areas of focus for this particular watch. He'll then remove the strap or the bracelet and will then put it on the Witchy test, which will assess the caliber's performance in 6 different positions. Before the watch goes onto the Witchy, it's important that it's demagnetized. Step 3 is the water resistance assessment. At this point, Vincent uses a Witchy machine, but this time to assess water resistance. It lasts for 3 to 10 minutes, and it effectively is a pressurized chamber that gives him an accurate readout as to how resistant the watch is. Step 4 is disassembly. Vincent is going to open up the case via the olivette, which is at 6 o'clock on the case back. And of course, the first thing to come out is the movement. Once Vincent has removed the crystal from the case back, he can then disarm the caliber itself. He'll then remove the clamp, remove the stem, and he'll start disassembly of the movement itself. He will then remove the hands with plastic to avoid damaging the dial. First hours, then minutes, and then the small seconds. He'll then unscrew the dial from the movement. The dial is repackaged in paper to avoid damaging it during the after-sales process, as is the case with all external parts. He will then move on to the Le Presto tool to remove the canyon pinion. During the process, Vincent will use a number of different tools, including the Bruxelles, and he will visually continue to check for oxidization on the movement. Then Vincent disassembles the balance bridge, which is beautifully black polished, and the balance itself. He then takes all the silicium components and observes them under the microscope. In the next steps of disassembly, Vincent removes the oscillating mass, the winding pool, the gear train, the barrel bridge, and the time setting system, but to name a few. These components then go into the baskets and into the washing bath. The washing phase lasts about 45 minutes and includes 4 types of bath, from ultrasonic to benzene. The final element of the disassembly process is polishing. The case, the bezel, the back of the case, and the buckle. This can all last up to 3 hours. In the very first step of the process, Vincent assessed the watch for its general condition, and he spotted that there was, in fact, some damage to the case. Everyday damage to the case is something that can be done in-house and managed at Laurent Ferrier, but if it's significant damage to the case, it is something that needs to be managed and sent back to the case maker. The paste used for polishing varies dependent on the case material. The brush used to polish is the same for all materials of case. So the final stage of the after-sales process is, of course, reassembly of the watch itself. There are many things in watchmaking that are highly complex, but hopefully after that, the after-sales process at Laurent Ferrier is not one of them. Ultimately, Laurent Ferrier's goal is to continue to produce obsessively designed and finished watches for decades to come. Thank you very much again for joining us.